Hi everyone, we are the Group 6 and today we will discuss a very important topic which is computer security. By the end of this module, students will be able to discuss the definition of a computer security, list the most harmful types of computer security, explain the CIA triad which is the main concern of computer security, determine the threats to computer security, especially with hardware, user, and data. So first, let's discuss the definition of computer security and threats. So what is computer security? Computer security, it is a process of protecting our computer from people who want to access it without our permission. By the means of that, it can really help us to keep our password, files, and important information safe. So how about threats? Threats refers to the danger, risk, or harmful to our computer. For example, hackers, viruses, and phishing scam that can steal our information. So let's dive into the most harmful types of computer. First is virus. When we say virus, it is a malicious program that secretly enter our computer without knowing. By that, it can steal our personal information or important files. Next is computer worm. So computer worm is a software program that can copy itself from one computer to another without human interaction. So, kung sinabi natin computer worm, ito yung parang automatikong kumokonekta sa mga files natin through social media, lalo na sa internet or konektadong network. It can access our information quickly, ganon. Hindi siya through face-to-face. Hindi katulad ng virus na kailangan pang buksan ng isang nahawaang files para kumalat. Third is phishing. Phishers attempt to steal sensitive financial or personal information through email or instant message. For example nito is yung mga hacker or cyber criminals na nagsisend ng emails na parang kagaya ng mga bangko so that malaman nila yung mga details about your bank account. Pag nalaman na nila yung information about your bank account, ito na yung magiging cause ng pagdaraya and pagkuha ng pera sa'yo. Fourth is botnet. A botnet is a group of computers connected to the internet that has been compromised by a hacker using a computer virus. So, ano namang ibig sabihin nito? Ang mga botnet or hackers is kayang kontrolin ang iyong emails, personal details through viruses. Paano? Through group of computers na nakakonekta sa isang internet. In that sense, kayang kontrolin ng isang hacker ang iyong personal information. So, rootkit, sila yung mga taong may privilege na maka-access sa computer natin, sa mga files, sa mga important information natin. Paano? For example, is nasa coffee shop ka and there's a free wifi. So, yung wifi na yon nag-login ka and then that wifi is not secured, pwede doon na kunin ng hacker lahat ng information na meron ka. Keylogger, also known as keystroke logger. Sila yung mga nakakatrack ng real-time activity na ginagawa mo sa phone mo or computer. For example, pag-download mo ng malicious email, pag napindot mo yon and that email is from hacker, pwede nilang matrack kung ano yung mga pinipindot mo sa keyboard mo. So, let's discuss the important terms used in computer security. First is vulnerability. Vulnerability is a weakness which allows an attacker to reduce systems information assurance. So, ano ibig sabihin nito? Ang vulnerability ay isang kahinaan sa isang bagay. Pwede sa computer, cellphone, o kahit sa isang website na pwedeng gamitin ng hacker para makapasok at makagawa ng masama. So, for example, is yung mahinang password. Kung ang password mo ay 1234 or password lang ang nakalagay sa iyong password, pwede itong maging dahilan upang mahulaan ng hacker. So, anong dapat gawin? Gumamit ng mas matibay na password na mas mahirap na ma-access ng hacker. So, next is backdoors. Is a method of bypassing normal authentication, securing remote access to a computer, obtaining access to plain text, and so on, while attempting to remain undetected. So, ang backdoor naman ay isang lihim na paraan para makapasok sa isang computer, website, or system na hindi gumagamit ng tamang login. Halimbawa, may na-download kang peking app or email attachment, sa hindi mo alam, nag-install ito ng backdoor sa iyong computer. Ngayon, ang hacker ay pwedeng kontrolin ang computer mo kahit hindi mo alam. So, anong dapat gawin? Huwag tayong padalos-dalos o huwag tayong mag-download ng unknown software or apps mula sa hindi natin kilalang source.
What is denial of service attack? Attack that aims to make a system unusable by flooding it with traffic. So, for example, is yung system natin na SIAS. Kapag yun, nag-login yung victim, is merong isang attacker na pwede niya ma-access yun at makuha lahat ng information doon sa SIAS na yun or sa system na yun. And the second is direct access attacks. It means occurs when an attacker has physical access to the computer to steal data or install malware. So, it means kapag yung USB pwede niyang isaksak sa computer, makakukuha niya or mai-steal niya lahat ng data sa loob-loob ng computer at pwede niya pa itong makalat sa iba. And the third is eavesdropping. Eavesdropping is secretly listening or obtaining information from the network such as passwords and private messages. So, kumbaga, kapag na-access na or na-hack na ng hacker, is meron ng spy doon sa secret private messages or sa network na yon. Kumbaga, lahat ng information doon, alam niya na. And the spoofing, impersonating another person or a system to gain unauthorized access information. Spoofing is merong, kumbaga, nag-a-act na siya ang may-ari nun or talagang kinukuha niya yung personal account ng may-ari. And lahat yun, ma-access niya yung information doon. And pwede na siya magpanggap na siya yun. At pwede niya pang mapalitan lahat ng information doon. Which tampering is deliberately altering data, software, or hardware to cause harm or danger. It means yung tampering is pakikialam or likutin. Kapag nalikot ng hacker yung mga software or hardware, pwede mag-cause yun ng danger and also pwede siyang makalat sa lahat-lahat. It means yung information na yun, magkakaroon siya ng danger. And the sixth is the information disclosure, unauthorized disclosure of sensitive information which may cause data leaks. Kapag wala siyang paalam sa owner na nakuha yung information na yun, pwede niyang i-leak yun or ikalat sa iba-ibang computer at yung information na yun pwede niya pang mapalitan. Exploits, using a software vulnerability to gain control of a system or cause damage. It means yung exploits ay sa seguridad ng computer ay paggamit ng isang programa o code upang makuha ang control sa isang vulnerability o kahinaan sa isang computer system. Kapag dun sa system na yun, nakakuha siya ng code doon, kukunin niya lahat yung information doon kung ano yung kahinaan ng computer na yun. At doon, pwede niya nang mapalitan lahat-lahat pa. And the last is the indirect attacks. It means attacks using another computer to hide the real identity of the hacker. It means yung attacker, kapag once na na-access niya na yung computer, pwede niya pang matago yung kanyang identity, kung sino siya, kung kung sino siya yung nag-hack doon at hindi malalaman ng owner kung sino yung kumuha ng information sa mismo niyang computer or sa kanyang data. And that's all. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Edward D. Fabrao. I am discussing the top 10 cybercrime prevention tips. First is use strong passwords. This is fundamental. Strong passwords. Kailangan natin ang fundamental password like mix of uppercase, lowercase, number, and symbols. Bakit natin kailangan ito? Upang may unique password tayo parang hindi ma-hack ang ating mga account. Like nasa may video, hindi mahahack ng mga hackers yung ating mga accounts. Then second is secure your computers. This is a broad point encompassing several actions. It includes installing antivirus software using a firewall. Sa pangalawa naman ay kailangan natin na mag-install ng antivirus. Like, upang hindi ma-virus ang ating mga cellphone, laptops, and gadgets. And third and keeping your software updated. Laging dapat ina-update and being cautious about what you download or what on your click. Third, be social media savvy. This emphasizes that needed to be careful about what you share on social media. Avoid oversharing personal information, be wary of scams and phishing attempts, and understand the privacy settings of your social media platforms. Ito naman ay nagsasabi na be cautious or be, be cautious of what of your posts. Like, for example, kapag aalis ka ay nag-post ka na sabi mo, kami ay pupunta sa Baguio. So it means na malalaman ng mga magnanakaw na walang tao sa inyong bahay. Pwede kang nakawan. Kaya dapat be careful of what you post. Okay, the fourth, secure your mobile device. Like smart PH1s and tablets are vulnerable too. This means using a strong password or biometric locks, installing security apps, being careful about the apps you install, and keeping your mobile operating system. Ito naman is kailangan natin na laging sa phone natin, like, kailangan natin strong password kasi baka manakaw or sadyang ma-open ang ating account. Kaya dapat kailangan natin mag-download or gumamit ng mga strong password. Katulad ng sinabi natin ng una. Next. Third naman, sa fifth naman po is install the latest operating system updates. Ito naman po ay kailangan nating i-update lagi ang ating mga cellphone para hindi tayo nahuli sa mga patches, para hindi nag-lag, or keeping your iOS updated is crucial for protecting against new threats like hindi tayo mabavirus. And panghuli, protect your data. This includes backing up your important files like regularly, using encryption where necessary, and being mindful of where you store sensitivity. Secure your wireless network using a strong password for your Wi-Fi network, and enabling encryption like WPA23 prevents unauthorized access to your network and devices connected to it. Okay, and this last is protect your identity. This is about safeguarding your personal information online. Be cautious about where you share your data, use strong and unique passwords, and be aware of phishing scams.
And now, let us continue discussing about the top 10 cybercrime prevention tips. Top 9. Avoid being scammed. Always think before you click on a link or file of unknown origin. Don't feel pressured by any emails. Check out the source of the message. When in doubt, verify the source. For example, you receive an email from a company you've never heard of, claiming you won a lottery prize and need to click a link to claim it. Do it as an action. Don't click the link. It could be a phishing scam designated to steal your personal information. And the last but not the least, the top 10. Call the right person for help. Don't panic if you are a victim, if you encounter illegal internet content, if you suspect computer crime, identity theft, or a commercial scam, report this to your local police. For example, you believe you've been a victim of identity theft and someone is using your credit card without your permission. Do it as an action. Contact your local police department and report the incident. They will guide you through the necessary steps to protect yourself. And now, let us talk about the basic security concept of computer. Components of computer system. The components of a computer system that needs to be protected are hardware, firmware, and software. First, let us talk about the hardware. Hardware, the physical part of the computer like the system memory and the disk drive, basic security concept and computer system component. A real-life analogy. Hardware refers to the physical component of a computer system that you can touch, see. It is the tangible part of the technology. Example, Central Processing Unit or the CPU, the brain of the computer responsible for processing instruction. Memory RAM, temporary storage for active data and programs. Second is the firmware. Firmware, permanent software that is etched into hardware devices, non-volatile memory, and is mostly invisible to the user. Firmware is a type of software embedded into hardware devices, non-volatile memory. It is like mini operating system that controls the basic function of a device. Example, BIOS or the basic input-output system. The firmware that starts that computer and performance initial hardware checks when you turn it on. Embedded software. The firmware that controls the function of devices like smart TVs, washing machines, and gaming consoles. And the third one, which is the software. Software, the programming that offers services like operating system, word processor, internet browser to the user. Software refers to the set of instructions that tell the hardware what to do. It's the intangible part of computer system, often called code. Examples, operating system or the OS, manage all the hardware resources, provide a user's interface, and allows other software to run. Application programs designed to perform specific tasks such as word processor, Microsoft Word, Google Docs, and Chrome or Firefox. And now let us discuss about the CIA triad. Computer security is mainly concerned with three main areas. Number one is confidentiality. Confidentiality is the concealment of information or resources that need for keeping information secret arises from the use of computers in sensitive fields such as government and industry. Access control mechanisms support confidentiality. One, an access control mechanism for preserving confidentiality is cryptography, which is scrambled data to make it incomprehensible. A cryptographic key controls access to the unscrambled data, but then the cryptographic key itself becomes the another datum to be protected. Second is the integrity. Integrity refers to the trustworthiness or data reduces, and it is usually praised in terms of preventing improper or unauthorized change. Integrity includes data integrity, the content of the information, and origin integrity. The source of the data often called authentication. Integrity mechanisms fall into two classes: prevention, which is the mechanisms, and detection mechanisms. Prevention mechanisms seek to maintain the integrity of the data by blocking any unauthorized attempts to change the data or any attempts to change the data in unauthorized ways. Detection mechanisms do not try to prevent violation of integrity. They simply report that the data's integrity is no longer trustworthy. And the last is the availability. Availability refers to the ability to use the information or resource. Desired availability is an important aspect of reliability as well of system design because as an unavailable system is at least as bad as no system at all.
In today's technology-driven world, various threats can compromise hardware, user safety, and data integrity. This report outlines several key threats, including power faults, age-related issues, incompatibilities, and user errors. Number 1. Power faults. Brownouts. Brownouts are characterized by lower voltage at electrical outlets, often caused by an extraordinary drain on the power system. Example: during peak hours, a city experienced a brownout due to high energy consumption from air conditioning units. As a result, computers in offices may not receive sufficient power, leading to unexpected shutdowns. B. Next, voltage spikes. Voltage spikes are temporary increase in voltage that occur due to large motor or circuit breakers in industrial setting. Example, a factory's heavy machinery suddenly starts causing a voltage spike that damages sensitive electronic components in nearby computers. Next, frequency shifts. This occurs when the line frequency deviates from the standard, potentially affecting power supplies and causing data loss. So, for example, a power plant experienced a malfunction causing the frequency to drop. Computers connected to this power supply may experience instability, leading to corrupted files. Number 2, age. As electronic components age, they face stress from heating and cooling cycles, while mechanical components simply wear out. Example, a 5-year-old hard drive begins to fail due to wear and tear, resulting in slow performance and eventual data loss as sectors became unreadable. Okay, incompatibilities. Incompatibilities can arise when hardware devices do not properly share interrupts, leading to hardware malfunction. Example, a user installed a new graphics card that conflict with an existing sound card, causing the system to crash or fail to boot properly. Next, finger faults. Finger faults refers to user errors that lead to data corruption, often occurring when the user mistakenly deletes or replaces the wrong file. Example, a user intends to delete a temporary file but accidentally deletes a critical system file, resulting in software malfunction or system instability. Understanding these threats is essential for maintaining the integrity of hardware, user safety, and data security. By recognizing the potential risks associated with power faults, aging components, incompatibilities, and user errors.
Good day everyone, I am Madeline Barya and I will be discussing about malicious or careless damage. Someone may accidentally or deliberately delete or change a file on your PC when you're not around. Malicious or careless damage, this causes data loss due to intentional or accidental actions by someone using the computer. So, the problem is someone might delete files, change settings, or install malware without the owner's knowledge. So, for example, a friend uses your computer and accidentally deletes important files while trying to clean up your desktop, or a malicious user installs a virus that encrypts your files. So, the solution of this is Never run the computer as an administrator. Use guest accounts for others and keep up-to-date backups. So, the next one is Typhoid Mary. One possible source for computer infections is the customer engineer or repairman. This section uses the analogy of Typhoid Mary to illustrate how easily computer viruses can spread via removable media, like floppy disks in this case. A problem of this is a technician or sales representative could bring a virus-infected floppy disk to your computer. For example, a service technician's visit to repair your computer and unknowingly transfer a virus from their floppy disk to your system. So, the solution of this is always check external disks for viruses before using them. The next one is magnetic zaps. Computer data is generally stored as a series of magnetic changes on disk, while hard disks are generally safe from most magnetic threats because they are encased within the computer compartment. Floppy disks are highly vulnerable to magnets. So, this explains how magnetic can corrupt data on floppy disks. Hard drives are less susceptible due to their shielding. The problem is floppy disks are vulnerable to magnetic fields from various sources. So, some of the more subtle sources of magnetism, it includes computer monitor. Don't put floppy disk anywhere near the monitor because it generates magnetic fields. Generally applies to the older CRT displays. Telephone. When ringing telephones, particularly older phones with a bell, generate a magnetic field. Bottom desk drawer. While the desk drawer does not generate magnetic field, the vacuum cleaner that maintenance people slide under the desk to clean the floor does. And the bottom bookcase, shelf, and file cabinet drawer. Same comment as the desk drawer just above. So, pets. Pets can generate a strong electromagnetic charge, which is, if discharged through a disk, can affect files on the disk. For example, leaving a floppy disk near an older CRT monitor, which produce a magnetic field, can corrupt the data. And a ringing telephone, especially older models with bells that can generate magnetic field that could affect nearby floppy disk. So, the one-thing solution for this is keep floppy disk away from the magnets and sources of magnetic fields. And the next one is bottom bookcase, shelf, and file cabinet drawer. So, this discusses and highlights the risk of static electricity damaging data or on floppy disk. The problem is these locations can build up static electricity, which can discharge into a floppy disk and corrupt its data. For example, a cat sitting on a floppy disk can cause static discharge that wipes out the data. So, the one-thing solution is keep floppy disks away from sources of static electricity. And the last one is bottom line. There are tools to assist in recovery from this problem, but how do you know all the data is okay? These tools do not always recover good copies of the original files. This discusses The document emphasized the importance of data backups and proactive measures to protect against data loss from various sources. So, the solution focused on preventing problems rather than solely relying on recovery methods.
Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something.